Hey, I'm just recording this to see how this new headphone. Okay, hold on. I'm just trying to see how good the mic quality is for these headphones. And I also wanted to show off that hey, I also have some new Funko Pops from Ross, the place I work. I also have. I don't know why I didn't put them in the last video, considering they're Castlevania characters. But I have Trevor Belmont yeah, there's Trevor and there's Dracula, and also got a Jack. I got Little Jack. He actually was. I got him first, and then the big Jack that actually comes with Zero is was actually very cheap. Usually you'd see like that for like maybe 15 to 20 bucks. I got it much cheaper, much because I work at Ross and I get a 20% discount. It was $9.99, and I'm like, I'm not passing up on that deal. I also got a cool, you can't really see it, but it's Deadpool, but he has, instead of swords, he has candy cane weapons. I also got a t-shirt out of that. I'll probably share that at a later date around Christmas time. But anyway, I just wanted to see you guys and see how good this mic quality is, because these are wireless headphones. This is my first pair of wireless headphones. That may not be shocking or surprising to anyone in this day and age, but I don't know. Sorry for the glare. I can see it, which means you can probably see it too. I apologize, but yeah, yeah. I also have some other stuff over here, but yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm going to say here, but again, this is just a test for the microphone. But if I upload this to YouTube, I guess I will have something to say. If I sound a little loud, it's because these are very good noise-canceling earphones. I can barely hear my voice. So if I'm shouting, I apologize. I don't mean to, but it's the headphones. I guess I could technically take them off, but anyway. By the way, these are bulky little things. Like, I'm surprised, but they were very cheap. Also, they have LED lights. Very sophisticated, in my opinion. They're probably the most technological headphones I've ever had, which should be saying something. But I got these for like $35 plus shipping and handling and taxes. But they're very comfortable, very comfortable. I am surprised at the quality of these things. I could have gotten them in a slimmer version. These are very bulky. These are, I don't know how, I can't see the camera, but see how bulky these things are? They're huge. They're huge. I don't know what you just saw, but anyway, but these things are huge, and they feel really good on my ears. Very comfortable, very comfortable. And again, I'm just actually making this video just to test the mic. I know I've said that 1,000 times already, but I guess I should clarify some things from my last video, because I didn't get the full spectrum of what I really wanted to get to in the Castlevania review video, my opinions. And if they make a season 2, which I hear they are, it's already greenlit, then I hope that they have learned from their past mistakes. I want them to get better. I don't care. I want to word this right, because some people can misconstrue my meaning and thoughts, but I want them to be better. I want them to succeed. I do not want failure. But failure is sometimes necessary to get to victory, or better in many senses. And a lot of people forget that. A lot of people forget, oh, you have to be the best out the gate. Well, that's not necessarily true. However, to dissuade a lot of people from thinking that, oh, this should have been a masterpiece anyway, they did have 4 seasons before Nocturne, season 1, to, iron out some things. I know that Warren Ellis was a bit of a controversy. I'm not going to touch on him necessarily, but in my opinion, with Nocturne as my evidence, I think that his absence from the series is very telling. I'm just going to say that because I do not advocate anything that he has done. But I will say that I've heard that he is very regretful of his actions, and I do believe that if he seeks redemption, if he truly is sorry, which a lot of these people aren't, but he is one of my favorite writers, and I admit I'm a little biased, just a little, but I would rather have him on the Castlevania Netflix series going forward than not, in my opinion. You can disagree. You may happily disagree. I'll take it. But Nocturne was, in my opinion, just full of wasted potential and things that just... The thing with Nocturne specifically is that it did what Season 3 and 4 kind of did for the original Netflix Castlevania series. I almost said Dracula series. That's a different one. The best thing that the original Netflix show had against Nocturne was that the first season was just setup. But it was great setup. It was all character based. It was not just it was great contrast. I think I said this in the last video, but great contrast between my brain. A great contrast between Trevor and Dracula. The first episode was all about Dracula and Lisa and their relationship and how, all that. Great setup, great character stuff. Great. You understand the motivation of the villain. You understand where they're coming from in a human way that is so much more than the sum of their parts, because you only have so many minutes to convey a story, and it was done beautifully. Arguably, it was Warren Ellis's, in my opinion, one of his best works ever in adapting the Castlevania lore story. Like, they understood the material, they did their homework, and they hit it out of the park. It just kept going and going and just was amazing. Even up until Season 2. And again, I have my gripes about Season 2, but it's my favorite season. For obvious reasons. They get to the fight with Dracula. My only real gripe about the entire original Netflix run of Castlevania was Trevor should have been the one to kill Dracula. And that's a big point for me, because the whole selling point of the Castlevania series is this family fighting Dracula. It's a lineage of generations that's practically tradition by not even the halfway point of the Belmont clan. And it's their job to kill Dracula, to stop Dracula's rampage across the world. And to... The first two seasons were spectacular, in my opinion. I have my gripes, but overall, the whole package as a whole was phenomenal. Fantastic. Beautiful. Third season comes around. It's different, but it has the added advantage of 2 seasons prior having established these characters. And to be honest, it was a departure for a reason, because by the end of Season 2, you've killed Dracula. You did the thing that Castlevania is known for. So what do you do afterwards? Well, you establish another villain, Carmilla, and a few others, the evil bishops and the demons, and summoning the portal to hell to revive Dracula and all that stuff. That's fine. Arguably, it's a little weird they're doing it that early, but I was okay with it regardless, because again, we have these characters already established. They are already a thing. And that's where Nocturne, I know I'm kind of skipping Season 4, but anyway, but Nocturne does not have that advantage. Nocturne starts with these characters that we do not know. Again, and they're doing their own thing with the canon and continuity and all that stuff. So we really don't know these characters, especially Annette and the guy that turned into a demon, I forget his name, that sang opera. And God help me, I really do not like what they did to Maria. I. It's not even the fact that she's an activist. You could make that work, but she needed to be not comedic relief, but she needed to be someone who wasn't just another. If I'm being honest with how the writing was in Nocturne, she needed to be something other than a whiny Brit with, lofty ideals. Despite how young she was probably more mature than Richter in a lot of the continuity. Sorry about my finger clipping on the. I need to get a stand to put my phone on. Anyway, but yeah, no. Maria got done dirty really, really bad. And the thing about Richter, at least in Nocturne, is it's not like he's unlikable, but man, the writing is just. It bugs the hell out of me. I apologize. Again, I hate being negative. I really hate being negative, but I just. Ugh. He's. He's like, especially when he gets that dumb power up, which admittedly looked cool in the moment, and it came with that amazing soundtrack from the original Castlevania that was remixed for the episode. It really grinds my gears that they used it for that moment instead of something that was actually epic, because he says that you had forgotten something about Belmonts, and so had I, and he was going to come up with something witty and cutting, and he's undercutting not only the joke, but undercutting the amazing moment to say a one-liner. And excuse me. And I just feel like missed opportunity. So I'm trying not to get angry, because I'm not really angry. I am annoyed and I'm very disappointed, but so many missed potential, so much missed potential in the entirety. Again, Elizabeth Bathory, however you want to say it, is an Aztec. Not Aztec. She's Egyptian, apparently, with a Russian accent. I don't know. I don't care. In the original lore of the Castlevania series, she was actually Dracula's niece, which I thought was a little interesting. They don't really go into it in the games that much. But again, that's half the reason we love the anime so much, because it's, at least in the original series, it was just more of the lore. And we're getting to see these characters as these characters, just in a different setting. That's why I didn't mind Season 3 and 4, because Season 3 and 4 was like, okay, what do we do after we beat Dracula? What's the happily ever after for the Belmont clan? And especially for Trevor and Sypha. And maybe Alucard, if we're, particularly caring about it. And that was that. That's why I don't hate Season 3, and why Season 4, while it doesn't necessarily make up for Trevor not killing Dracula in Season 2, it was serviceable at best, and it gave me a reason to be like, I could see another season or another series with another Belmont. And it gave me hope that the creators knew what they were doing. And then the Warren Ellis stuff, I actually think it came before Season 4, but his name's still on there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Nocturne is out, and if they do a Season 2, I want to see better writing. I don't want Rondo of Blood, and I certainly do not want an adaptation of Symphony of the Night. Not with these writers. I want them to prove themselves first. I want them to prove themselves that Warren Ellis was not the only thing, the only element keeping this project afloat. Because right now it's looking like a sinking ship. And despite a lot of love and care that went into Nocturne, I did notice a lot of things in reference to a lot of different things. But they did that in the original series too. Like, you can't tell me that, Alucard killing his father wasn't a nod to Symphony of the Night in the original Castlevania Season 2. Like, it just... I'm sorry. Anyone who likes Nocturne, I apologize. I am not out to get you. I am not out to ruin your day. I just have opinions, and I'm just stating them. If you disagree, I wish you the best. And tell me your opinions in the comments below. I would love to see some engagement. I would love to see some involvement with my fans, if I have any fans, or any fans of Castlevania. I look. I love the series so much. I got the Funko Pops I showed you earlier. Like, I have Trevor and Dracula. Like, I am a huge fan of Castlevania. I have, like, I don't know. I don't know. At this point, I'm just rambling, but I will be making another video soon. I just, again, this is just for the mic, really, but I guess you could say this is a follow up to my last episode, my last video. But I've been watching Arcane, and I have big things to say about Arcane. I'm not even a big League of Legends fan. In fact, I actively avoid League of Legends fans. But that show, again, getting Netflix again has really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I was like, oh, I hear about this stuff, but now I can enjoy it. So yeah, that's where I am. And again, I'm currently rewatching for like the 5th or 6th time Whack Fu. If you guys, it's not, I would argue it's a lot better show than Nocturne. But if you guys, it's not for everybody. I'm not going to pretend like, oh, you're going to have an amazing time with it. But I will recommend it with the French dub, because the English dub is, I can watch it with the English dub, no problem. But that's because I'm a super fan. Like, anyway, but Whack Fu is my recommendation for anyone who's got Netflix and is looking for a new show to get into. Whack Fu, it's a bit rough and very Monster of the Week for the first few episodes, but if you could get past the initial, like, veneer of it being a kid's show at first, this is not really a kid's show. And if you notice some of the finer details, you'll notice that this show, the Whack Fu show, you'll notice that Whack Fu is actually a lot more adult in very subtle ways. It's a French show, which should tell you some things, but the animation is... I look at it today, and I still think that it's on par with something like Castlevania. Maybe not quite as good as Arcane, but Arcane's a different, like, in a league of its own, ironically, League of Legends. But, like, for a 2000... Because it was in, like, I think it was 2008. It's a 2008 animation that looks like... It looks like Dragon Ball mixed with... like so many other like things out there, and I'm just like, good lord. Like, here's an example of how it got me. There are 3 episodes in season 1 of Whack Fu where it's all about a made-up sport called Gabol. And I'm not a big sports fan guy. I don't even like Quidditch from Harry Potter. Well, I kind of did way back in the day, but anyway, that's beside the point. Harry Potter's a completely different discussion that I'm not even going to get into, but suffice it to say, I'm not a big fan of sports, but by the 3rd episode, by the end of the actual arc of this team, I was actively like, holy shit, I learned the rules, I learned that, this is one of the best fictional, like, games out there, and it's essentially football with cheating allowed and a little bit of soccer. Like, it's ridiculous and out there, and I can't recommend this show enough. And that's just like, that's still part of the Monster of the Week like episode, but that's when it gets really good, because by the 3rd episode, the animation is like everyone has just turned Super Saiyan, and like the ball is like going through the stratosphere and coming back down, and like, oh my, the tension. I'm telling you, I just watched this episode like not even a day ago, and like I'm at the edge of my seat just talking about it. Like, I'm sorry. But that's just the beginning. There are dragons. There's a mechanical guy looking to get all kinds of magical sources so he can turn back time. And like the main character can teleport in the most OP fashion you can think of. Like, it is so out there. It is so cool. And if you're a fan of D&D, these are basically D&D characters that, straight from the role-playing game. And if you really want to go even further, there's a... sorry for the creaking, that's my chair. I need to get a new chair. But there's an MMORPG based on Wakfu, and it even has a sequel that's way more successful, and they're free! Sorry for yelling, but they're free, man. Both, well, I think Wakfu is free. The sequel is kind of not free, but it's still, like, worth your time every time. I'm not even a big MMO guy, but it's very single-player heavy and, like, very addictive. I would argue, you can take my word or not, doesn't matter, but I would argue that it's up there with Final Fantasy 14 and maybe even WoW to a certain extent. WoW's gotten a bad reputation nowadays, but Final Fantasy 14, at least. One of the top 3, sorry for my finger again, one of the top 3 MMOs in my catalog. So there's my recommendation for a video game. Excuse me. Anyway, yeah, I think I've rambled enough. I'm going to watch this video back and see if I need to re-record it and see how good the mic picks up my voice. But yeah, Castlevania Nocturne is still... And I actually watched it twice. I actually watched it completely again, just to make sure my thoughts and feelings were clear and concise and real, and not just because everyone else, or at least a lot of people, are mad about certain things. So yeah, Arcane, again, another amazing show that I highly recommend. Wakfu, easy recommend. Nocturne, I'm a hardcore Castlevania fan, and even I think that's a little out there. And yes, that is Exodia, the Forbidden One. I don't even know when I got that. That was years ago, but like, I think that's pretty cool. I'm looking for the Egyptian God card Funko Pops too, if anyone's willing to part ways with them. But that's totally different discussion. So yeah. Still don't know how to end videos. It's weird. I've seen so many YouTube videos in my time, and I just... it just... Do I say goodbye? Do you guys say goodbye? I don't know. It's weird, man. It's weird. But thank you for staying tuned, if you have. And I'm just gonna end this. Yeah. See you guys next time.